A warm welcome. Welcome to Passageway. I'm Kim Cabaron. In Romans chapter 12, verse 2, it says, Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now, one of the greatest misunderstandings in the Christian life is the belief that repentance is merely feeling sorry for sin. Many people experience guilt, shame, remorse, or regret and assume they have repented. Yet a person can feel sorry and still remain the same. A person can cry over their mistakes and still return to them. Regret alone does not transform a life. Now, the biblical repentance is much deeper. The Greek word metanoia means a change of mind, a complete shift in the way a person thinks. It is a transformation of perspective that affects the heart, the will, and ultimately every area of life. Now, repentance is not merely an emotional experience, it is a spiritual awakening. It is seeing God, yourself, and your circumstances differently than before. When God is inside me, repentance becomes more than a moment of sorrow. It becomes a lifelong process of transformation. Before God changes our behavior, He changes our thinking. Before He changes our actions, He changes our understanding. The battle between transformation begins in the mind. Many people try to change their actions without changing their thinking. They focus on outward behavior while neglecting the inward condition of the heart. But God always works from inside out. When God's presence begins to fill our lives, we start seeing things differently. We begin to recognize what once blinded us. We understand truths we once ignored. We become sensitive to the voice of God and aware of His purpose for our lives. The things that once attracted us begin to lose their power because our minds are being renewed. Repentance changes the way we see God. Many people view God as distant, angry, or uninterested in their struggles. Some see Him only as a judge waiting to punish them. But when true repentance occurs, our minds are opened to see God's love, mercy, and grace and holiness. We realize that God is not trying to destroy us, He is trying to restore us. He is not calling us away from sin because He wants to limit us. He is calling us away from sin because He wants to free us. Repentance changes the way we see ourselves. Without God, many people define themselves by their failures, wounds, addictions, disappointments, and past mistakes. They carry labels that God never intended them to carry. They live under the weight of guilt and condemnation. But when God is inside us, He reveals our true identity. We begin to understand that we are not what happened to us. We are not the sum of our failures. We are not prisoners of our past. We are people created by God with purpose, value, and destiny. Repentance changes the way we see sin. Before transformation, sin often appears attractive, harmless, or necessary. We justify it, excuse it, or ignore it. But when God's Spirit works within us, our eyes are opened. We begin to see sin for what it truly is, a barrier to intimacy with God and a destructive force in our lives. We no longer turn from sin merely because we fear consequences. We turn from it because we love God and desire to walk in His will. When God is inside us, transformation becomes visible. Our words begin to change, our attitudes begin to change, our relationship begins to change. The way we respond to conflict changes. The way we handle success changes. The way we endure hardship changes. The evidence of God's presence is a desire growing to become more like Christ. Transformation does not happen overnight. God often works through a process. He shapes us day by day, lesson by lesson, trial by trial. And sometimes the change is dramatic, and sometimes it is gradual. Yet every step of growth is evidence that God is at work within us. The greatest miracle is not simply that God forgives us. The greatest miracle is that changes happens to us. He takes broken people and makes them whole. He takes fearful people and gives them courage. He takes bitter people and fills them with love and compassion. He takes confused people and gives them purpose. He takes sinners and transforms them into living testimonies of His grace. This is why repentance is so powerful. It is not merely looking at the past with sorrow, it is looking at God with faith. It is allowing His truth to reshape our minds, renew our hearts, and redirect our lives. Today, God is calling us to more than regret. He is calling us to transform. He is calling us to surrender every thought, every attitude, every habit, and every ambition to His authority. This is why, as what Jesus Christ taught us how to pray, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And He is calling us to let His Spirit live and work within us. And when God is inside me and you, I cannot remain the same. My thinking changes, my heart changes, my desires change, my life changes for sure. The old way of living begins to pass away, and a new way of living begins to emerge. Therefore, repentance is not simply saying, I'm sorry. Repentance is saying, Lord, change me. It is opening the door of the heart and allowing God to do what only He can do. It is yielding to His presence until His character is transformed within us. Regret may bring tears to our eyes, but repentance brings change to our lives. Now, regret remembers what you were. Repentance embraces what God is making you become. And when God is inside you, repentance is not just regret, it is transformation. A blessed day. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.